Hello dear aspirants, welcome to Goldfinch IAS and KS Institutes. In the economy section today, we are discussing the retail inflation rose to a 4-month high of 5.7% in December. So what is important in this is, in this particular news, we have to understand what is inflation. Inflation meaning it is the gradual increase in the prices of goods and services over a period of time. What do you mean by gradual increase? For example, if the prices of all the commodities, see, inflation, we will not talk about one single commodity. Inflation, we are talking about group of commodities. If the prices of group of commodities are keep on increasing like this from 2% to 4%, 6%, 8%, like that. See, for example, today onion price is 20 rupees and after 1 week it is 200 rupees. It is not inflation. Inflation should be gradual, that is step by step, right? Like 2, 4, 6, 8, like that. That is the definition says, you understand? So inflation meaning it is a gradual increase in the prices of goods and services over a period of time. That is inflation. Here it is mentioned retail inflation. Retail inflation meaning at the level of consumers, and it was actually India's retail inflation accelerated to 4 months high, that is to 5.7% in December as compared to 5.55% in a month earlier, correct? And food price actually rose to 9.5% nationally and breached the 10% mark for urban consumers, hitting 10.42%. More urban consumers are suffering because of the food inflation particularly, correct? So as in comparison, rural India consumers faced a slightly lower rise. See, rural people comparatively slower rise, that is 9%. Food prices actually with respect to rural people. Overall inflation they are suffering. Overall inflation is 6% for them. Overall inflation, rural people are suffering 6% and urban people are 5.5%. Very simple. You understand? So after that, within the food basket, inflation picked up in pulses, which means out of the food basket where the inflation is high, that is in pulses, vegetables, fruits, sugar are high. I hope you got it. This is just a news I'm just going through, and where and all important concepts are there, I'm just covering. Right, consumer price index, this is very important. It is mentioned about CPI. CPI meaning consumer price index, right? So consumer price index is an index which is calculated the inflation at the retail level. It is calculating inflation at the retail level. And first of all, consumer price index meaning it is consisting of basket of commodities. It is consisting of basket of commodities. Example, you can take, sir, 230 commodities. It is calculating the inflation for this 230 commodities. That is what is CPI, consumer price index. As I told you, if the onion price increase from 20 rupees to 200 rupees, it will not be counted as inflation. What is inflation? If an inflation among 230 commodities, which means many commodities put together, that is. So next, inflation continues ease in, see, for example, in milk, meat, fish, egg, inflation is low, right? And there is also a definition mentioned about deflation. What do you mean by deflation? That is opposite to inflation. What do we understood inflation? Gradual increase in the prices of goods and services over a period of time. Deflation meaning gradual decrease in the prices of goods and services over a period of time. That is deflation. Deflation meaning gradual decrease in the prices of goods and services over a period of time. See, please understand, inflation is not bad, but deflation is bad. Deflation indicates your economy's performance is low. Economy's demand is low, production is low, GDP is low, and it is moving towards recession. That is the indication of deflation. Prolonged deflation may leads to recession. You understand? Inflation is good, but too much inflation is not good. You understand? Too much is not good. Okay? So that's it for this particular article. Let us move on to the next article. It's a very simple article, nothing much about it. Factory output growth drops to 8 months low, that is of 2.4%. See, industrial growth is very important for our country. Why industrial growth is so important? Because it is the largest observer of employment. It is the largest observer of employment in the country. If the industrial growth is coming down, if it is decreasing, it means unemployment is increasing. You remember, if industrial growth potential if decreases, in such country unemployment increases. This is a very, very bad situation. See, from the 16-month high, that is in the November, we have experienced 11.6% of growth. From 16-month high in October particularly, in October, so it was actually 11.6%. 16-month high, that is 11.6%, and we had 8 months low now, that is 2.4%. See, forget about these numbers. These numbers are not at all important. What is important? Decrease in the industrial growth. What are its indicators? It is indicators are unemployment is increasing. You remember that point, that particular point, right? And it is mentioned about consumer durables products shrunk by 5.4%, which means in the manufacturing sector, the consumer durables are decreasing. What do you mean by consumer durables? People are not buying ACs. People are not buying refrigerators. And people are not buying, household commodities. That is a consumer durables, right? It may be coolers, it may be heaters, it may be mixie, it may be grinder. They're all consumer durables. People are not buying them. There is very less demand for them. That is a reason. That is also one of the reason for the decrease in the industrial output, right? Even the furniture output dropped by 30.5%. Computer electronics also fell by 25%. That's it for today's economy news daily. So thank you so much for watching. Thank you, and please subscribe the channel. Thank you.